and introduce Lisa Cohen, who is going to be telling us all about South Australia. So take it away, Lisa.
Thank you so much, Karen, and good day, everyone. It's so nice to speak with all of you today. I know I've met several of you probably over the last year and a half or so, as I've been working closely with John Daw here at the Commission. I've been involved in the PR primarily since my job has started here, but now I'm delving more into this side. So I'm excited to work with all of you and share an exciting update today about what's coming up in the next year or so. So let's see, moving forward to the next slide here. I won't spend too much time giving you the basics because, of course, you're all here as specialists. But I'll talk on some of the key pillars of our state, and especially what I like to think of when I think of South Australia. I've been probably a couple times now, not as often as I would like to, but there are a lot of things that stand out to me when I think of this destination compared to other parts of Australia that I think are worth sharing with you. First of all is the wildlife. I think the abundance of the natural creatures that are discovered on Kangaroo Island and throughout the Flinders Ranges outback is something that is really memorable and stuck out to me as a first-time visitor to the destination. And the outback just alone, just to see the capacity of the ancient landscape and to have those adventures of what's considered a really iconic part of the country was fun to discover. And then the wine, of course. I'm a big, big foodie, as I'll probably rant and rave about in a little bit. But the food and wine experiences, I think, are really unparalleled, especially with a lot of what we have here in the U.S. and enjoy. It's a really exciting culture, I think, that's happening over there. So those are some of the three things that I really have enjoyed learning and discovering in my trips to South Australia. So, of course, our capital city is Adelaide there. And it's reachable by flying in through Sydney or Melbourne. So it's just an hour and 50 minutes from Sydney, under an hour from Melbourne. And then also we're seeing it pop along for dual destination itineraries. It's just about 5 hours if you fly into Auckland for those that are starting or ending their journey in New Zealand. So that's just our location there. Hopefully we'll have a direct flight at some point in the future. But how the industry is, so we'll see where it all goes. But the capital city of Adelaide, of course, it's a jumping off point for exploring the diverse regions around it, but it has its own knack for food and wine, with the Central Market, of course, is a must visit for anyone visiting the city. Has a huge array of fruits and vegetables, meat and poultry, seafood, gourmet cheeses. It's a really great starting off point for those that are getting acquainted with the city and need to stretch their legs after their connecting flight from elsewhere. And a perfect day in Adelaide, I think, is strolling along the museums along the river, exploring the riverbanks, having an alfresco lunch, maybe heading to Glenelg Beach for a glass of wine to watch the sunset before you jump off and see what else South Australia has to offer. So something new to announce here, you may have heard, is the Mayfair. This is a new luxury property that is being developed in the heart of the central business district there in Adelaide. The project involves a redevelopment of Adelaide's historic colonial mutual life building, which is going to be converted into a 4.5-star boutique hotel called the Mayfair. So we're really, really excited to have another luxury option in addition to the Intercontinental that's currently there. So this will be located on King William Street. It's a 14-story former office building that will be converted to 170 hotel rooms. There are, 1 or 2 bedroom luxury suites. It also includes 3 executive levels over a span of 11 floors. And the hotel will also feature an entertainment space, which includes a bar and restaurant, as well as high-end retail shops on the lower floor. There's a function and meeting room space, as well as executive lounges with a connected outdoor terrace located on the upper floor there. So it's great for business travelers that are connecting through. And then in addition to the redevelopment of the existing building, which you kind of see on the right-hand side, the old style there, the new hotel will feature a 6-story extension on the south side called the Jewel Box, which you can see sort of rendered there. This is becoming the visual centerpiece for the hotel. And the theme here is sort of a 1930s style decor. There'll be grand curved staircases in the middle. They're really looking to step it up here and have a really unique and luxury option for travelers into Adelaide. So we'll keep you posted. As of now, it should be completed in March. I believe they are beginning construction as soon as September. So we'll keep you posted on the official opening date for that. And then as far as other things to do around Adelaide that I think are worth noting, of course a day trip to the Adelaide Hills is a fantastic itinerary inclusion just with its location 20 minutes outside of the city center. Sticky Rice is a cooking school that's been around for a number of years and has received a lot of national acclaim just for the caliber of chefs that come through to do these cooking classes. But recently, in March of this year, they opened up these villa accommodations that are adjacent to the cooking school. They're situated on the outskirts of the town of Stirling in the Adelaide Hills, and they have a year-round calendar of classes and food tours to the local market. So for those of you who don't know, the cooking school offers hands-on Asian cooking classes with the leading chefs. Top culinary personalities and chefs from all around Australia host the classes with a particular focus on Asian cuisine. You know, things from Thai, Vietnamese, Korean, Indonesian, Japanese, Chinese. So they saw the need to, offer a place to stay so people can do a cook and stay type of a package and enjoy the Adelaide Hills for more than a day or so. So the new villas, there's about 3 styles, but they offer a cozy retreat that's perfectly positioned for exploring the region's cellar doors, getting hands-on cooking school classes. They're considered eco-savvy villas, and they sit right behind the rear of the cooking school, and it's only a 15-minute stroll from the cafes and the boutiques of downtown Stirling. So each villa will convey a different mood, but they all boast a super sleek kitchen by a local Adelaide designer. They have 3D televisions with glasses provided. So that's kind of a fun amenity there. And the bathrooms are very elegant, equipped with deep tubs, fluffy robes, and some local signature spa products. So guests will be able to take advantage of the suites that are inside of, or the kitchens rather, that are inside of the suites in the villas. So they can grab some stuff that they discover along the day, or they can invite a private chef to come and show them a demonstration in their room, which is fantastic. So the price point for this is starting at around $275 American per night. And the cook and stay option, which includes the classes, the market tours and such, starts at around $550 per night. So moving on to the Barossa, just under an hour from the capital city of Adelaide here, this is where the rich winemaking history and the heritage is really astounding. The German influence is seen a lot through here. A lot of you know just the relationship with the winemakers and the beauty of being able to discover a region where the winemakers are still present. And to be able to hear and share those stories with them firsthand is what makes this destination unique. A lot of people still refer to this as, maybe Napa or Sonoma 15 to 20 years ago, in the sense that it's not very commercialized. It's a very exclusive experience. No matter where you go and whatever tastings you do arrange, you'll get something different every time and something very, very memorable. People have been making wine here for almost 4 generations, so they love inviting you into their tasting rooms to discover the food and their friends and family and the process that they're so proud of. So new to report here is a really fantastic restaurant called Hentley Farm. Now Hentley Farm also produces wines. They have a vineyard located in the Barossa there, but they recently opened this past year this incredible 5-star dining experience. They're degustations, so you can do, there's a variety of tasting menus, and they are open for lunch and dinner on select days of the week. I believe it's Thursday through Saturday, lunch is offered, and then Saturday dinner is offered as well. But the chef is a young guy pictured here at the bottom left corner. His name is Lachlan. He came from the Manse in Adelaide, which is probably one of the premier fine dining establishments in the city there. But they have their award-winning cellar door attached, so you can do the tasting menus with the Hentley Farm wines. And this, the restaurant is really a value add for those that are staying at the Louise, as they're happy to handle booking the reservations, setting up tastings and such. Or you can always book this experience through whatever preferred wine tour operator your clients are choosing to have that be a stop on their wine tasting itinerary. So as I mentioned, the restaurant is open for lunch toward the end of the week. It's Thursday through Sunday, and then dinner is on Saturday. But the food is sensational. He works, I think they forage as well locally within the vineyards there and surroundings. Look at their figs. They'll get a lot of their fresh fruits, mushrooms, wild fennel. So the menu changes seasonally based on what's available and grown, and really showcases the seasonality of the Barossa's food and wine scene. And also note here is cooking classes. You'll see a big theme for the Barossa, and I think is an emerging trend in travel as well as culinary tourism. People are really looking to get their hands dirty and explore a region based on the food and the local personalities. So Casa Carboni is a new Italian cooking school in the Barossa. It's run by a couple named Matteo and his wife Fiona. Fiona's actually Australian. She lived in Italy for a bit and met Matteo and fell in love, and they decided to move back to Australia and chose the Barossa to settle down and really showcase their cooking skills here. So they have an enoteca, which has a beautiful little storefront. This offers, roasted coffees, homemade Italian biscuits, and other treats like that. And then toward the back is a large kitchen where he runs hands-on cooking classes as well as demo-style classes. So you can pop in for an hour to kind of get a taste, or you can stay for half a day and learn to make pastas and other Italian delicacies. So he'll start these experiences often by visiting farms and the markets with who he works with, and then you get a chance to meet those local characters and learn about the history of where he sources his produce, and then come back to the kitchen and get to cook it all. So again, this, the Louise is able to handle these reservations and booking, or the preferred wine tour operator is able to accommodate this in the itinerary as well. And just an update here, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Kingsford Homestead, which opened exactly a year today, I believe. It's been open, and since then it has been receiving a ton of buzz here in North America. Condé Nast Traveler recognized it and included it in the 2013 Hot List. So among the categories they were honored, the world's most romantic new hotels, best perks, extras, and amenities, the best new hotels with great food, and the world's best new small hotels. So that was a really fantastic achievement for them. I think people are really recognizing how unique it is. And then it's also been included in Photo's Top 100 Hotel Awards for the new properties around the globe. So this is an all-inclusive property. I'll show some photos here. But gorgeous riverside bath. I think is probably the signature experience there, being able to take a basket and a bottle of wine and a towel down to the river and enjoy the breeze after a long day of wine tasting is really relaxing. The food with the chef on board is sensational. You do 3 or 5 course degustations, again with the local farmers, relying on those relationships and really getting a sense of the history and the culture of the region through the food. And the decor is very simple and elegant, Victorian style. I believe it's about 6 bedrooms. The 7th is a separate little house that's there that's bookable. But it's nice to have sort of this homestead experience. It's more of an elevated B&B, if you will. You feel like you get the privacy and the full-star service, but you're staying at something that's unique and special. So up to the Flinders Ranges in the outback. This is, of course, one of the oldest landscapes on Earth, and it's only about a 5-hour drive from the capital city of Adelaide. And the dramatic red rock formations are what draw people here. The deep blue sky. This is Wilpena Pound, which is probably the biggest attraction. And the biggest, the best way to see it is to do a scenic flight or maybe hot air balloon. And the wildlife is a large component of what draws people up here as well. So there have been some exciting new developments coming up here. We are excited to announce that Wilpena Pound is launching a new luxury safari tent sort of district to their property that's there. This will be 15 safari-style suites that are tucked away in the majestic and ancient landscape. And they are hoping to complete this by September of this year. So it's coming up fairly quickly. So it's considered a 4-star accommodation. It offers sort of that glamping experience in a really exclusive area of their property. It's secluded from the resort's main campground, and it's among the river red gums, the native pines, and the wildlife. Each tent is about 14 by 20 feet in size, and they are made from insulated canvas. They have king beds with luxurious linens and bedding, bedside tables and lamps, of course, a gas fire heater, overhead fan, and I think most importantly, the ensuite bathrooms. It includes its own vanity and shower and toilet area, so that is fantastic. So you're really on a great location at the foothills of the Wilpena Pound Rock Formation and have an incredible glamping experience. And as I mentioned, the wildlife is a huge component of what draws people up here. The emus running along the river creek beds, the 3 different types of wallabies and kangaroos that are hopping around. And because of this, I think the bushwalking and walking safaris are gaining a lot of traction in this region. And I think, again, another trend overall are these walking expeditions that travelers are looking to do. They want an adventure, they want soft adventure, or maybe the opportunity to really immerse themselves in a region such as this. And this is an incredible place to do that. There are a couple properties that are offering these walking expeditions. The first is Ronsley Park Station. And they've been offering this product for a number of years now, but they have another slew of expert guides that have come on board in recent year or so. And these tours typically run from May through October. So Ronsley Park, if you're not familiar, is a working sheep station that they converted into an eco-village that they've added in the last few years or so. And you know, the multi-day guided walking safaris begin and end at the station, and in total covers probably about like 40 miles of the national park there. So they will take you in a four-wheel drive vehicle on a daily basis to other strategic points of the national park there. So you'll have access to places that you couldn't necessarily get to before, but you have the luxury and the comfort of staying back at the property each night for your meals and to enjoy, you know, the stars that are under the sky or the sunset along the ridges there. So you have the comfort of having the accommodations there instead of sleeping outdoors. And of course, Archibus Station is still offering their walking safari series as well. This is the homestead that I believe now you have to book out the entire property. They're not renting them out on an individual basis at this point, but it's great for groups that are looking for that sort of villa-style accommodation. They can take over this entire property and enjoy the walking safari series together. So I think this photo here will show you their guide that will take you through. Kat is probably one of the most knowledgeable and fantastic and passionate people. She took me along on a trip at sunrise, and I was like, Kat, I'm not getting up at sunrise. I had Shiraz to drink all night before. You're crazy. I'm not going to get up at 4:30 in the morning. But she convinced me to do it, and it was the best decision I ever made. Just to watch the sunrise over the ridge tops there. It's probably one of the most majestic things I've ever witnessed, just to see all the wildlife pop out as the sun comes over, the birds start going crazy. You really feel like you're at the beginning of time when Earth begins. It's such an ancient destination, and I think it's something that people who are looking for a really unique outback experience will definitely find that here. So moving on to Kangaroo Island. Australia's Galapagos is still what we still like to refer to it as. Many of you know that it's abundant with a ton of wildlife. A third of it is preserved national park lands. The green portion of that shows it there. And with the cruise port that has been opened up in Penishaw, we've been seeing, you know, a lot of traction here recently. A lot of the visitors will start in Penishaw, make their way to Kingscote for some of the art galleries and such. But the more west that you move, the more wild the island becomes. And I think people underestimate the size of the island. It's very important to note for those that are self-driving, if they're taking the ferry over on SeaLink, that you know, driving is definitely possible and very simple. There's only a couple roads. But I think it's best experienced with a private guide. They'll be able to showcase, you know, the tons of koalas and the kangaroos that are hiding about, you know, take you on these adventures. They know exactly where the family was hiding the day before, where the nested kangaroos were, the birds that are hiding in the trees. And then, of course, along the coast, you'll have the ability to walk down along Seal Bay and Remarkable Rocks and really get a sense of the marine life there. Seal Bay is still probably the most incredible attraction there. To be able to discover this rare colony of sea lions firsthand is a really unique experience. Yeah, and as I mentioned, you know, private four-wheel drive tours are the way to go with people like Exceptional Kangaroo Island and many others, just to be able to have a customized itinerary. I think they're incorporating a lot more food tours now, meeting with some of the art galleries. So you're really able to work with them to say, you know, even if it's only a day or 2 days is really preferred to be able to explore, you know, the length of the island. But they do a really great job in showcasing the wildlife and the nature and the adventure experiences that Kangaroo Island has to offer. Something new that has started is Kangaroo Island Heli Experiences. I believe it's a similar company to those that run in for the 12 Apostles over in Victoria. But they are offering a number of scenic flights around the island. I just show a couple of them here. There's a 20-minute Remarkables and Arch. So, you know, many people have seen the Remarkable Rocks in the past, but to see it from above is a totally different experience. You know, the dramatic cliffs of the island, I think, are a big standout. And a lot of people are enjoying being able to do these helicopter experiences. And then an update here with Kangaroo Island Sailing. They've been around the last year and a half or so, but they've just begun offering one-way transfers to the island. So for the luxury traveler that maybe doesn't want to take the flight or isn't interested in self-drive with the ferry, they can actually take the Kangaroo Island Sailing yacht, the Lady Eugenie, and they can transfer them over to Kangaroo Island. So Typically, if your guests are starting in Adelaide, they'll pick you up with Smart Car, and it's just about an hour's drive down to the marina there. And then you'll hop on the boat. They give you some morning tea, some snacks, and you'll partake in a 5-hour journey across the ocean there with award-winning wines, a barbecue on the boat along the way. It's a really gorgeous, gorgeous way to experience the water and come up to the cliffs of Kangaroo Island if you have the time to do so. And the arrival is in the fairly part of the early afternoon, so there's enough time to shop around Kingscote, or if guests are headed straight to Southern Ocean Lodge or any of the other accommodations, it allows for enough driving time to the day to be able to hopefully get some wildlife spotting in there on their first day. So that's it as far as the regional updates, but something we're excited to announce is we have our webinar series coming back. And this is really, our plan is to focus on regional dispersal this year. So we're really targeting regions such as the Eyre Peninsula, the Flinders Ranges, and Coober Pedy Outback Territories. And the webinar will run in conjunction with our incentive program, which we're excited to announce, and we'll have more updates on what that is going to look like in the coming months. But it's really to reward bookings for the operators that are featured in this webinar series. So keep an eye out from us for our newsletters. And here pictured is a calendar of our schedule. No need to jot this down. We'll be in contact with you with our newsletter and webinar dates moving forward. But you'll see the operators that we're looking to feature here. We'll be sending more info, and I believe we're starting to schedule these around 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. So hopefully our East Coasters will be able to join us. I know in the past couple of years or so it's been difficult to schedule, so we're looking to get your feedback to see if these dates and that time frame does work for you. So please let me know if you think you'll be able to join us. And then also new to announce, we have our holiday planner that should be arriving any day now. This is replacing our product manual, which you currently have. So I'm taking orders, so please contact me and email me if you want to pre-order some copies, but we'll be distributing that in the coming month or so. Yeah, and as I mentioned, keep an eye out for our newsletters, which will feature an operator each month, giving some, some fun tidbits and some media highlights to share with your clients if they're inquiring about the properties. And then southaustralia.com, of course, is continuing to be a resource for you. Feel free to use that for some tips and tricks and ideas there. But that's me pictured down below. Feel free to contact me at any time with any questions. Nothing's too small, and we're happy to share this with you all and hope that we'll get some of your clients to enjoy South Australia very soon. So thank you.